Hello, it's Tammy Pally, aka the Crafty Princess and Doll Collector, and this is another installation of my Yarn and Dolly series. Today is May 27th, 2017, and you will probably hear banging in the background because there are people in the house besides myself. And I decided not to close the door to this room because my cats have been coming in and out, and yeah, they want to hang out with me, so you'll have to forgive me also. Besides the banging in the background that you might hear, my voice is kind of not the best. I have been fighting off a cold for probably about a month now. It came and then it left, then it came again, and then I went on a cruise because I was scheduled to go on the cruise. So I went on the cruise, even though I wasn't contagious or anything at that point, but I was still kind of, I was recovering from a really tough week of being ill, and now I'm back from the cruise, and I just can't seem to get rid of this cough. So, and no, I haven't been to the doctor. I'm not ready to do that yet. So, anywho, please forgive if I have to cut a few times because of coughing. But yeah, so I did go on the cruise. I didn't get as much Dolly stuff. I was actually, first of all, I thought I was going to bring a doll on the cruise, and if you've seen any of my previous videos, you've seen that the tan doll, who I didn't even bring her here with me today. She's in another room. So I thought I was going to, well, actually, I bought two tan dolls, two fakies. One I was going to bring on the trip. I ended up selling her, and another one I thought, well, maybe I'll bring her on the trip, but I didn't because it was an 8-day cruise. And I had a lot of stuff to bring. 8 days is a lot, and I'm not a light packer. I know some people say, oh, just bring a bathing suit and, you know, you're good. I'm not that kind of person. I have to have lots of stuff, okay? And anytime I've ever traveled and I'm an overpacker, I have never ever thought I brought too much stuff. I can't ever think of a time that's happened. If anything, it's the opposite. I'm glad I brought the extra pair of pants or whatever. So not only did I not bring a doll with me, I didn't get a lot of Dolly stuff because I just didn't see that much to buy for them. I did get a couple things outside of the cruise, but otherwise, that I'll show you in a little while, but otherwise, yeah, the dolls did not come with me. I brought crafting stuff, and I'm glad I did. I brought my jewelry making tools and beads and that kind of things, and I also brought some crochet and knitting, and I'm glad I did because we had 3 sea days, and those are pretty long days when you don't, most of the activities on the ship are kind of stupid. And in fact, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail with that because if you go over to my YouTube channel, I have a section, a playlist on there for cruises, and I have my sister and I, who's tapping flamingo, she and I filmed a number of podcasts. We basically did about one a day where we reviewed the events of the day. We showed any items we purchased. When we were, for example, when we were in San Juan, Puerto Rico, we visited a couple of bead shops, so that was super fun. So if you're interested in learning about the pros and cons of the cruise, you can always go over to that playlist. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do the yarn first and then the dollies. So yarn. I do have some finished objects. A lot of times people think, oh, well, you're going to bring something on the trip and you don't work on it, but no, that's not the case. In fact, I finished. I even weaved in the ends. I made a pair of fingerless gloves, crocheted fingerless gloves, and this is out of, here's the yarn. This is called Flamingo Legs by indie dyer out of the UK, Stranded. She also has a podcast on YouTube, so definitely check her out. She's hilarious. She's super cute. But anyway, so yeah, I love this color, and I could use an extra pair of fingerless gloves. This pattern is kind of, I've adapted it. I found it a while ago online somewhere. I don't remember if I printed it up or what, but I vaguely remember having trouble printing it up. So I wrote it down, and then I changed some stuff, and it was a free pattern. So I can't really point you to an exact pattern because I can't even find the original one, and I changed quite a bit, but basically it's I did a square left a hole in it, you know, and it seamed up the square, and then the hole, I attached a smaller crochet hook. This is DK yarn, and I used a size I hook, and then I used an H to just crochet around and around and around to make a thumb. But the original one didn't even have this thumb thing at all. I know there were some other issues that I just ended up changing stuff. So it's kind of a extremely altered version of a pattern that I can't even find now. But you can see the basics. This is not actually my favorite pattern. This is super easy and quick, and I wanted something like that. There's another one that I like. It's called Wristers, and it's a free pattern from Lion Brand, a free crochet pattern. It's much more involved. It uses sock weight yarn and I believe a size F hook. And I've made those, and actually I'm sure I've shown them on various videos. But I wanted something fast and quick that would use DK, or this is actually, I think originally uses worsted weight. And I have lots more, so I'll probably whip up some more of these, maybe give them to a few people, that kind of thing. Because it's very easy, mindless crocheting. In fact, here's my pattern. Like, this is, you know, not super useful for anyone. So I finished those actually on the cruise, I believe. Yes, I finished them. I even wove in the ends and everything. So those were good, you know, sitting in the cabin at night type of projects. I also brought with me, though I did not work, I don't think I worked on it at all on the cruise, though I have since I've been home. I've been home almost a week now. The Linus shawl, which I've shown you guys. I've made a little bit of progress. I'm getting to the green part now. And I'm using 50 Shades of Gradient in the Cocoa Beach colorway, which was supposedly a colorway only available at the Knit and Stitch in Cocoa Village, Florida. So I'm coming along here with this. This is, you know, again, this is mindless knitting for late evenings, that kind of thing. And then I made some progress, and then unfortunately had to rip out some of that, most of that progress, not all of it. I think I did half a dozen rows on my Hotel of Bees shawl. This is a pattern. Did I write it down? I didn't write it down. It's Hotel of Bees. It's a crochet shawl. It's available on Ravelry. If you just Google Hotel of Bees, you will the shawl, Hotel of Bees shawl. It'll pop up. I'm using 3 different colors of Expressions Fiber Art yarn, and this is a pattern that is making me use my brain, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But I goofed up. I've goofed up quite often. I have had to frog quite a bit on this. And so yeah, I actually had about, I pulled out 4 rows. Yeah, I pulled out 4 rows today, because last night I was working on it yesterday. There's a crochet along going on now for this, and it's going to end in a few days, the last day of May. Today's the 27th. There's no way I'm going to get this done, which, mental note, this is why I usually don't do knit alongs or crochet alongs, because the deadlines, I just can't seem to make it. I mean, I went away, I was super sick, so part of that time I did not do very much crafting, and then I went on a trip for a week, over a week, and now I'm back and trying to, you know, negotiate where I'm at and everything. So probably I lost a good 2 weeks of just not being able to work on this at all. But anyway, I do enjoy it. It's making me use my brain. I'm now switched over to, I'm gonna, even though this technically would be the yellow part, I've replaced the yellow yarn with purple, and this would normally be purple. I decided to go ahead and with the gray and use that. So the yarn is, like I said, very soft, so I'm enjoying working with the yarn. But yeah, bummerooski. Last night I was working on it, and I got to the, I don't know what, I think I'm around row 27 or something. I think I got to row 31, and I realized my numbers were off. Even though every once in a while I had stopped and counted stuff, I realized my numbers were off, and so I just put it away. And then this morning I made the decision to go ahead and leapfrog what was necessary. So, and change from, you know, into the gray instead of the purple. So, boo-hoo. Woe is me. But I'm still gonna work on it, and you know, I guess obviously I just can't imagine having the ability to finish this in the next couple of days. So we have, today's the 27th, Sunday, 28, 29, 30 through, I have like 4 days, less than 3.5 days. Probably not gonna make the deadline, but oh well, I'll keep at it. This is in my owl bag from Lorley Urto. She sells cute bags. Okay, so that's all of the yarn. I also did some jewelry making on the cruise, and again, I'll talk about that. My sister and I actually held some sort of impromptu jewelry events on the cruise with a group from Facebook, and I made some earrings and stuff like that, but I think I'm going to talk about that in a different video because this is yarn and dollies, not yarn and beads and dollies. And I have some plans to make some other jewelry with the beads I got in Puerto Rico, so just stay tuned for that. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so that way you can enjoy crafting with me. Okay, so the dollies. You can see I've got two girls over here. I've got Winterish Allure, and she's kind of been hanging out here with who I'm calling Farrah, but she's a new doll that I did an unboxing of not that long ago, like right before I went on my trip, I guess. And she is Disco Boogie. But one of the things I did manage to get on my trip were some of these hair clips from, in fact, here we go, hair clips like this. Okay, from Del Sol, and you could find these Del Sol shops in a lot of the Caribbean. I think I got this when we were in St. Martin. No, this was not St. Martin. I think this was San Juan. This was in San Juan. We did go to Del Sol and St. Martin, but they did not have any good clips. There's a certain kind of hair clips that work really well. You can see how the clips, the ends close up really tightly, and these are little butterflies. Even though my dolls are not out in the sun, when you go out in the sun, anything that you buy at Del Sol changes color. This is supposed to turn red when she's out in the sun, and they're great. These are great clips for dolly hair, and I got the smaller ones. I split these with my sister, so she took 4 and I got 4. I also got some bigger ones for me because the Del Sol clips are some of the few clips that actually work in my hair because my hair is super fine, so a lot of times these little clippy things fall out. So yeah, I looked and looked when I was around. My cat wants to sit up here with me. I looked and looked for dolly type stuff, and you know, I thought maybe little hats or you know, I don't know, small items that I could use for you know, doing displays or something like that, and kind of struck out. Come up here, Lola. Okay, so yeah, I kind of struck out with that. So that was a, you know, though I found plenty of other items to spend my money on. I definitely helped the economy throughout the Caribbean, that is for sure. So yeah, so anyway, Winterish Allure, who I've changed her name to Mia, she is modeling one of the little hair clips, which means I have some bigger ones of these, which now means I can use the little ones for them, and I can get my butterfly clips back from them because some of them are using the bigger clips. All right, so that is one little thing I got. And then before I left on the trip, I ordered some clothes for Disco Boogie. Like I said, I'm calling her Farrah. Because to me, she has this sort of, you know, obviously due to the fact that she's Disco Boogie, she kind of has a 1970-ish retro vibe that I'd like to keep, you know, up with. She's got this blue eyeshadow, which is like totally crazy, and this poofy hair, which I have not washed. It still feels funky. I don't know. I'm afraid it's gonna lose its poofiness. And I'm just lazy. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But anyway, so I bought a couple of cute dresses. The one she's wearing now was in this package, and I also got this other dress, which I haven't taken out yet. And I'll put my glasses on here so I can see these. This is House of Daisies, and this House of Daisies, she's on Etsy, and she is out of Belgium. And I have to say, even though I was gone, I ordered stuff and then I went on my trip thinking, well, it's going to take a couple weeks anyway. But her stuff came really fast. These little dresses were like super quickly in the mail. I had these shoes already. I just picked a couple of dresses that I thought were cute and well priced. I didn't think ahead of time too much about what I was going to put with them, and then luckily this has some a little bit of blue in there with the owl's eyes. So I already had these boots, which I think I got from idollzoo.net, IDOLLZOO.net, and they look super cute. These aren't actually retro-y, but I don't know, finding retro shoes is probably going to be difficult. I probably need like maybe some go-go boot type things or something, but for now she's wearing this. And then and then this little dress will be for her too. Though I'm kind of thinking I like sometimes to have a couple of dolls that are like kind of budlies, so I might decide to turn one of my dolls into a retro doll so she can have a budly to wear her cool clothes with. So the other thing I purchased was from the Hand Flower on Etsy. This outfit you might recognize because obviously it's from a stock doll, but I thought this was just, you know, I was like, this is perfect, you know. Plus it's got, you know, shoes with it and everything, so it's a whole set. So I got this for her, and I also purchased these wild, these are crazy. Got these bell-bottom, of course, pants. I've actually purchased from the Hand Flower before, and they always have pretty decent quality, I think, for the price. And then this wild shirt. And they threw this in, which was super nice because actually they had this shirt and this stylish shirt in a whole bunch of different patterns, fabrics, I should say, and lace, different lace, you know, embellishments. And when I went to order it, when you had the drop-down menu, it said, one of the selections said white. And I was like, it would be nice if I had a white one to go with this. So I emailed them and asked them if they had a white one like this. And she wrote me back and said, no, they did not. So I'm assuming that's why she was nice enough to toss this in there, because I'm pretty sure, now that I think about it, no, I didn't, I'm pretty sure I didn't order this, so. Okay, for the umpteenth time, I'm gonna try to finish this video. Obviously, this is probably not the best day to do this, a little bit too much going on around here. I just wanted to finish with some news about, some Dolly news. I do have another doll on the way. She won't be here until July. It's the July release, Pineapple Princess. I caved and I bought her even before there were even any pictures out, which is something I've never done before. I've always just waited and seen the pictures first. But it was the third time I had seen her on CC Toys, and she sells out almost immediately. The first time I saw her mentioned, by the time I got over there, she was gone. The second time, actually I don't think I was here the second time, and then I saw it pop up again, and it said in there, because I follow CC Toys on YouTube, it said this was the third time they had her. I hummed and hawed about it, posted something on a Facebook doll group, and somebody said, oh my god, they've got her again, I'm getting her. And that was some pressure. So, and because I posted and said I've never bought a doll before without seeing photographs, and I'm kind of not sure if I want to do that. And somebody posted and said, well, if you go ahead, if you can afford her, go ahead and buy her, and if you don't like her, you can always sell her. And I was like, yeah, you're right, I could do that. So I went ahead and bought her. She is she's a tan translucent, which I believe is the first time they've done a tan translucent. And besides the fact that I really like the tan dolls, my Cherry Beach Sunset is one of my favorite stock dolls, and I think they'll look really good together. But because she's different, and that's one of the things when I buy dolls for my Blythe collection, I always try to find something, unless it's just something I just really like, but I like to try to find a doll that's different, like that isn't part of what I have already in my small collection. For example, this doll is the first I have of this mold. I didn't have one before I had her, so I try to be cognizant of collecting dolls that each have something unique about them. So I went ahead and I purchased her. Obviously she won't be here until July, but hopefully I'm gonna like her. Hopefully those photographs are gonna be good and her hair's not gonna be a nightmare, and etc, etc. But yeah, when Pineapple Princess is here, I will make sure that I do a video of some kind, either an unboxing or review like I usually do. And yeah, I guess that's gonna be it. I'm gonna wrap it up here before I get interrupted or the camera falls and the cat jumps on the desk again. I always appreciate a thumbs up and subscriptions, and of course your comments are appreciated. Let me know what's going on in your life as far as your crafting goes and your dolls go. Post it down in there in the comments, and of course questions too. If you have questions about anything, I'll do my best to answer them. Have a wonderful dolly and crafting day. Goodbye.